Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ange if you haven't met me before, and today I'm going to be filming my plant shelf tour. So I recently set up my new Ikea unit and some new LED lighting, so I thought that I would just show you what's on my shelf at the moment, and then maybe in a few weeks or so that I can give you an update on how I'm liking this setup. So if you want to see what plants I have on my new plant shelf, then definitely keep on watching. Alright, so this is my new plant shelf setup, and yes, I know I'm basic. I got the Ikea unit that absolutely everyone has, but it is very functional and it wasn't very expensive in comparison to all the other shelving units I've seen. And I'm liking it because it's glass, so it's letting the light trickle through the shelves a little bit more. So it is in a place which I would say would get like low lighting. There is my kitchen just through here, and that is a south facing window, but I feel like this shelf is quite far back from the window, so it doesn't get that much light. So firstly, I'm just going to chat about the shelving unit itself. I'm really liking it. I think it was pretty easy to set up. I set it up all by myself. And yes, I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man to do it for. It took me about an hour or an hour and a half, I would say. And that's because it was like a little bit fiddly getting in like these side bits together, but overall it was pretty easy to put together. And then I just installed all these LED strip lights. Okay, so you can see that each shelf on the shelving unit has one LED bar light. I think looking at the setup now, I think I might want to change that to 2. I kept one of the boxes just to show you which light I got. So I got this from Bunnings, but it actually wasn't on the Bunnings website. I just saw it when it was in person. Oops. And it's called the LED Vans. And I did some research before buying some lights, but I think I screwed up just a little bit. So this is what you want to look for, something that is 6500 Kelvin or daylight, because that is the color temperature. But I forgot to actually look at the lumens, and people online recommend having like a light that's like 1000 or 1500 lumens, which is just how bright it is. So this light is actually not that bright, or as bright as I would want it to be. So I think at some point I'm going to have to maybe get another one, but I'm going to just see how it goes first. And I attached each of the bar lights with some double-sided sticky tape. I ended up just using these Scotch squares, and they worked really well because the lights itself were really light. So I used 4 just in case, but I think that was honestly a bit overkill because the light was really, yeah, just not heavy. So another thing I did was I cable tied all of the cords to the back there, and I actually got that idea from Erica Lode's video. She did a plant shelf tour and she kind of just did that for cable management. So I thought that was a really good idea, so you couldn't see any cables. Over here though is the problem, because I'm going to need some sort of extension cord so I can tuck that somewhere, so just ignore that for now. But you know, I only set this up yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with it. So I thought I would give you a little tour on what plants I have on here, and I'm going to just see how it goes, and if I need to change anything, I'll keep you updated. So firstly, these 2 here, so my satin pothos and my marble queen, they are not going to live here permanently. I repotted them yesterday as well, and I had nowhere to put them. They were hanging in my kitchen, but now they're in a bigger pot. They're honestly too heavy to hang, so I've got to find a new home for them. So I just popped them here for now, and then I'm probably going to rearrange some plants on the weekend or something. So yeah, those won't stay there because it's way too dark. If I could find a way to keep them there, I would, because they look so pretty. But this Syngonium white butterfly in the middle there, I'll probably leave up there since it is quite low light tolerant, and I don't really mind if it's not super bushy. So that's going to stay there. And then we have the first shelf. So I'm going to start on the left, and over here is my Hoya CAMPHORIFOLIA, and I purchased this as like a few leaf cutting, and honestly it is growing so fast. It was previously living in my kitchen windowsill and it was just taken off, So hopefully it will still do well under this grow light. If it doesn't, I will move it back into the kitchen. This here is my MONSTERA PINNATIPARTITA, and that one is still not doing much. I bought that as an unrooted cutting. At the moment it is rooted, but no really signs of growth yet. So we're just waiting and waiting and waiting for it to do something. Back here I have a Peperomia PICCOLO BANDA, and if you've seen my Peperomia collection, you will see that my Peperomia PICCOLO BANDA was very full and lush, and then I overwatered it and it completely died back to a stump, and now it has put out all of its foliage again, except now it's teeny tiny because it's still kind of recovering. I feel like Peperomia are a really good example of plants that can go downhill so quickly if you screw up. So that's a sad story, but you know, he's recovering there. I have two more Hoyas here. So this is the HOYAACUTA albomarginata, I want to say, or HOYAACUTA variegata. It has the white on the outside, and then this one is the HOYAACUTAPINK. It has not put out very much pink on its leaves. You can see a tiny bit of pink freckling. This one got a little bit sunburnt underneath my Mars Hydro Grow Light, so I had to move it somewhere a little bit less bright, and he's recovering, not doing much at the moment. Over on this side we have my beautiful, my love, my Philodendron ATABAPOENSE. Since my last Philodendron collection, it has not done anything new, but it is just thriving. It's chilling. It's got some nice root growth, so you can see those thick juicy roots there. So I'm just going to leave it under here and hopefully it does well. Over here is a begonia. This one I've killed once before, so I've repurchased it. I believe it's the begonia tiger, but I'm not completely sure. These two darker leaves are its newest leaves, and honestly, I am not great with begonia. I love them so much. They're beautiful, they're weird looking, they're fuzzy, but I find them really hard to take care of. And back in this corner I have my Philodendron Mexicanum, which is a very juvenile plant, but we do have a new leaf on the way. I find this one quite a moderately fast grower, so I'm just going to leave it under this light to see how it goes. Now we're moving on down to the second shelf here, and starting on the left here I have my Philodendron gold headeraceum question mark, I think that's it. It is the gold heartleaf philodendron. I can never remember if it's the headeraceum or caudatum, but yes, it is the gold heartleaf philodendron. We have beautiful golden leaves coming out the top, and then it fades to more of a lime green down the bottom, very similar to a neon pothos but in philodendron form. Then next to that we have my beautiful Peperomia pink lady, which is coming out with beautiful pink leaves. So this one has acclimatized to my home really nicely, and it's putting out some new growth, and I'm absolutely loving it. Here is my Hoya villosa, and I have a love-hate relationship with this beautiful plant. It has pubescent leaves, which means it is fuzzy, but it is such a slow grower. So finally, after months of waiting, it put out 2 leaves from this point, and I was so happy. I posted it on Instagram, blah blah blah, and then when they got about to this size, they just dropped off. Like honestly, that was the most disappointing day when I just found the leaves next to the plant. Hoyas do that a lot. They drop their new growth like crazy. If something changes, if it freaks out, it will drop leaves, but I changed absolutely nothing. So that was just really disappointing. We do have a new growth point at the moment, which is just here. So hopefully those don't fall off. Over here we have my PILEA peperomoides. I have 3 little babies in there. I took those off my mother plant, and now they're, you know, being cute, chilling. I absolutely love how easy these are to propagate. We have some teeny tiny leaves at the bottom, but yeah, it's getting quite large and full now, which is really nice to see. Next to that here, I have my Peperomia Silver Ripple, which it's not as silver as I would like. So I'm going to try moving it under this grow light to see if it helps makes the leaves a little bit more silvery instead of like this greeny khaki color. So yeah, I'm excited to see if that changes, but I absolutely love this plant. In the front here, I have two different kinds of plants potted into the one pot. I just did that on the day I got them because I didn't have enough pots, and it seems to be working out really well. One is a Hoya and one is a Dischidia, so they are like cousins, so they need the same kind of care. So I thought it would be fine to have them in the same pot. So this one is a Hoya species Affinity Burtonii, or I know they're called a Hoya honeydew as well. And then I have a watermelon Dischidia here, which is the only Dischidia I have in my collection. But we have all this new growth, which is super cute. I really one day want a full basket of this, but I've never seen one in person. So one day, hopefully. And then I have my variegated peace lily here. This is the Domino variety, so it has those like crinkly leaves. And I like how, I love the texture. I think it's so cute. It doesn't have that much white on it because I was keeping it in some really low light. But as you can see, like the most light is going to be like situated in the middle, and then here it's probably less bright, maybe like a medium light spot. So I put the plants on the side that don't need as much light in comparison to the ones in the middle. We'll see how that works out. So on the second to last shelf here, I have my Philodendron burle MARX, and I'm just waiting for all these growth points to roll out their new leaves. I'm very excited. Look at them, they're so exciting. But I thought this was a good spot for it. And then over here I have, I always say this is a parallel peperomia, but I've been told that that is wrong a few times. So that is this peperomia here. It is either the parallel or something else, but it is very beautiful. I bought this quite small and it's already filling out really nicely. Over here we have my Syngonium Wendlandii. So it's got those beautiful like velvety leaves with the white in the center. Can someone tell me what is the difference between a Syngonium Wendlandii and then also the Syngonium radii? Because I see a lot of the US plant people calling theirs a rayi, and it looks very similar, so I'm not sure. If you know the difference, then definitely let me know. This one here is my Peperomia. Oof, I forgot its name. I will write it down here if I remember. It is a type of peperomia, and it is, oh, columella, that's it. So it is a little bit more like weirdly shaped. Again, it hasn't done much since I've gotten it. It's kind of just stayed the same size, and I've had that for quite a few months now. Over here I have my dragon tail plant. So this is its beautiful newest leaf. It is very crazy looking. Like it was sitting up like that, now it's tumbling over. Honestly, I do not know what to do with this plant. If I should stake it, if I should just let it keep being its crazy self. I did chop it just here at maybe a month ago, and it's put out some new leaves because it was just looking crazy, but now it's doing the same thing again. So yeah. Next to my shelving unit, I'm keeping my ruby rubber plant. It's definitely not one of my favorites in my collection, but I can't get rid of it. These broken leaves are from fetch accidents because it was living right there, and we throw the ball into this hallway, so it was just getting hit over and over again. So I thought that I would move it over here just so it doesn't die a slow, painful death, and we're gonna see how that goes. This one here is a fussy little bee. It is a Calathea Makoyana. I should have probably kept this in my bathroom, but it has been living in the living room for a long time, and you can see lots of crispy leaves. It hasn't grown out a new leaf in, I want to say, months, because it was in some low light. So I'm just going to put it here. Hopefully it does something. If it doesn't, I probably will get rid of it at some point because it just doesn't make me that happy. These ugly brown leaves make me sad. So please do something or you're out, buddy. You're out. Next to that here, I have my Philodendron Pink Princess cutting from my mom. So she's all rooted up now. I put her in soil yesterday, so hopefully she, you know, bounces back, puts out some new leaves. I saw on the newest leaf a speck of pink. Oh, yeah, that's all the pink she gives me, but you know, that's that. And lastly on this shelf we have a sad story. This is a Diffenbachia I got recently from, I think, Ultra Nursery, and I absolutely fell in love with it, but it keeps melting. It's so weird. So I had it in the soil that it came in for a few weeks, and I used my moisture meter and I was watering it when it said it was dry, but every time I watered it, like a leaf would just go yellow and gross. So for some reason it was getting overwatered, but the soil was dry. So the other day I just took it out and I put it into my own soil mix, and there was no root rot or anything. So, you know, I thought that maybe the roots had rotted off and that's why it was getting a bit freaked out when I was watering it. But no, that's not the case. And then now we have a few more leaves just kind of dropping off and being sad. So hopefully it gets its act together soon. These are 2 new leaves that have come out. So I don't know, I'm just gonna see how that goes. If it dies, I'm not gonna be surprised. It's just been very fussy in my house. So we're not liking that, but she's pretty. So hopefully she bounces back. So I'm gonna give you one last look at my grow light shelf setup. I'm really happy with this. I'm just absolutely thrilled. I think it looks absolutely stunning, and I think I'm going to be giving you an update on how I like the lights maybe in about a month. But if you are purchasing your own grow lights, I would say look for 6500 Kelvin, which is the color of the light, and then also try and get like a 1000 or more lumen light, so you'll get something a lot brighter. Don't make my mistake. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video today. If you enjoyed it, then please hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, then hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye!